There he is again, the good old man with the beard, who was a trapper in his earlier life. You know, trap, trap, the trapper trip trip of the Indians. Otto Walker said that back then, and the man was right. So why am I making a video about something like this now? First of all, I have one of those things. It's been hanging here for, I can't even say for unimaginable times. It's been hanging on the wall, and I'll probably get rid of it with a cutting disc because somehow it's been too long to sell. First of all, I have one of those things. It's been hanging here for, I can't even say, for unimaginable times. It's been hanging on the wall, and I'll probably get rid of it with a cutting disc because somehow it's been too long to sell. About 126. I could at most take it apart. The stock can be taken apart here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 here. Well, under M even, so I could theoretically sell it, but no one wants it anymore. That used to be a Kentucky rifle kit. Yes. And back then, as a young person, I had no clue about woodworking, no clue about metal, and no clue about shooting, and I thought, man, I can definitely do this. Yeah, I just went ahead and did it, and looking at it now, oh my God, just look at that thing. So when I hold the battery in bright light, I press it here. If you take a closer look, you can see it too. I don't think anyone wants that anymore. It's more like this. Well, and then give up a precious spot in the locked gun cabinet for that. 2001 at least. I can tell you a little bit about it. There's still some fossilized parrot poop on it. Everything's original. How does something like that actually work? So first, I think I should take it apart. No, I would have to unscrew it, but whatever. First of all, how does a flintlock work? Well, while we're at it, there are also percussion locks. A percussion lock is the same thing, only instead of all that flintlock fuss, it just has a little cap on it. Of course, it's much, much, much easier. A huge milestone for that time. So, that's the battery. Battery from hitting it, a battery. That's the hammer. A piece of leather is used to hold a flint in place. Then you flip this thing open. Here you see a trough where the priming powder is poured in. Priming powder isn't actually a herb. It's just specially finely ground gunpowder. Then you close the lid again and cock the hammer. I specifically checked multiple times beforehand to make sure there's really no powder from any malt left in there. Yeah, you can see very little right now. That's because everything is untreated. In any case, you usually get a really nice shower of sparks, and if you take good care of it and do it right, it works excellently. I used to shoot flintlock pistols and percussion pistols competitively. That works wonderfully. They're definitely not the usual, how should I put it, kit quality. It's all a bit better. The loading process, which you definitely want to do before putting any priming powder down below, starts with pouring a measured amount of powder in up there. So, there. And if you've ever wondered why Napoleon's troops weren't all lying flat in the grass while people were eagerly shooting at them, it was because you had to load them upright. Otherwise, the powder wouldn't trickle down properly. Then a patch came in, which is a shooting patch. That's thickly greased to wrap around the ball. Back in the day, at the shooting range, we had a small loading hammer, 2001. With that, the ball was pounded into the barrel, and from there, it continued with the ramrod, which you turned around and pushed the whole load deep in. You can see how long this thing has been sitting around. So, and then I rammed it all in. Oh yeah, so if there was a charge in there, it could be tight now. If I push it all the way in on the rim, then at least at the shooting range, there was also a marking here. Because after a few shots, the barrel gets fouled, and then everything doesn't run as smoothly anymore. It starts to jolt. And if you accidentally don't hit all the way back, you don't have a press charge at the back and a ball on top, but instead you have a hollow space with powder sitting at the bottom. That's also called a hollow charge. And when you shoot, it blows the barrel up. You should avoid that, which is why there are markings here. So, then the rod had to be carefully put back under enemy fire, because if the rod got lost, shotgun was useless. That would be the end of the line. Some just stuck the rod into the ground next to them. It works too, but if you have to run away, then it's already too late anyway. It doesn't matter anymore. So, yeah, and then the hammer went bang. That caused a huge commotion, made a lot of noise. This should be 45 if I'm not mistaken, so 11,004 millimeters, something around that. I can't remember exactly. And after at most 2 shots, you couldn't see the target anymore. Black powder made smoke, leading to smokeless powder, nitrocellulose, crucial for military as it hid enemy positions. And from a military point of view, this was extremely important so that you could no longer see exactly where the enemy was shooting from. Before that, it would have been quite simple. Where the bangs went off, there were giants, you had to get close, there was the rascal. The smokeless powder, it made a bang from somewhere, and nobody knew where it was. So, I think I've pretty much covered everything already. Well, there are definitely 1,000 websites that deal with more than I do. So I'm assuming nobody wants this thing. So I'm just going to get rid of it. I'm just going to cut the barrel into several neat slices with the angle grinder and then throw it in the regular trash. As for the wooden parts, just step on them once and that should do it. They'll be all crushed. Yeah, that actually hurts a bit. A label, I guess it's per soli. Let's see if I can still read something here, but it's really pretty worn out. Maybe I could still do something here with a wire brush, but I can still see some very, very rudimentary remains. Luckily, I have an intelligence booster here, with which I might still be able to see if this is going to work out. Not like that, nothing at all. I have a better idea. I'll just grab my sleeping bag. Haha, my absolutely trusty and incredibly dependable sandbag, and my always trusty and reliable pan. Alright, oh, this is going much better. Where's a magnifying glass? For the first word. DK? Spain? 45 caliber? Black powder? Only? Kentucky? And a diamond shape. So there will probably be something about state-proof marks. And a serial number. Actually 9, 91, 77, 48. 7 or a scratch. No, it's actually 7. So I know for sure that these barrels, these kits, were sold with state-proofing. Good heavens. Or is there more? Hey, 1143. That must be the manufacturer's mark. Slash KP kilo points per square centimeter. Okay. Italian proof marks or something like that. But I'm always amazed at how completely invisible writing becomes visible when you light it from the side. Great. Just... So we really made something out of that person. How many minutes have we done now? 30 FPS. 30 minutes. 8 minutes. Foot 36. Yeah, I would say thanks for tuning in. I don't have anything more to offer today. At least something different, right? I once had a beautiful Hawken rifle, by the way, but it was a bought one, you know? All fixed and ready. And at some point, when I gave up all the shooting stuff, I sold it again. It was too good to throw away. But it was also a percussion ignition as far as I remember. And I had a Charles Moore flintlock pistol. And I also had the Charles as a percussion pistol. And I also used it for competitions. So, that really has to be enough now. Thanks for tuning in. 16 times, bet on it, the guy who never gets to the point. And then I just press out here. Until next time.